Welcome everyone to a very special episode of the Softlock Podcast. I'm Daisy, and I'm joined by Wario himself.
I need to run over that chat guy.
It's very important.
Where'd I go?
I got him cornered.
I bounced on his head. I bounced on his head.
Oh, he's so jumpy. He's so bouncy.
What the fuck?
So, for audio listeners, I suppose, we are in Mario Kart World right now. We're hanging out at Yoshi's. We're going to be taking a road trip today while we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. I got a board gear. So yeah, we both got Switches. I've had mine for about a month. Jonathan, when did you get yours? Like a week ago? So.
Yeah, I just got mine. Let's see, Monday. So not even a week.
Mm-hmm. So
we're recording on Saturday. So yeah.
I mean, we've got enough time for impressions.
Oh shit! I didn't need to keep going.
Holy shit!
Keep
got
talking.
Time for impressions because there's like not anything going on with the Switch right now. So we collected some questions from Instagram. We got some game reviews to go over. It's been over 2 years since we did the episode on the Switch 1.
Wow.
Which is insane. I didn't even realize we were doing the podcast for over 2 years, but yeah. Our episode 5 was our Nintendo Switch 1 breakdown when the OLED came out, or at least the Tears of the Kingdom OLED. I think that was the same time. And holy shit, you're about to get abducted by an alien.
What?
Turn around.
What?
Turn around. You're getting abducted by an alien.
I don't see an alien.
What?
I don't see an alien. What are you talking about?
Right here.
Oh!
Do you not see?
What the fuck is that?
I'm gonna abduct you, bro.
What is happening?
Come here.
Oh my god! Where am I going?
I'm taking you with me.
Oh, I went to Mario Bros. Circuit.
Oh, okay. Alright, so yeah, we're just gonna be cruising the highway, and I'm gonna do my best not to be insanely distracted by this gorgeous game in front of me. I don't know how to get out of the UFO. But if this is your first episode, we usually just review games and then occasionally talk about gaming topics. Today, we're just talking about the Switch 2, and that's it. So basically, our first impressions, and then I guess one day we might come back and wrap things up. I guess, you know what I'm thinking about? We gotta give, like, a postmortem on the Switch. It's done.
Yeah.
We gotta do that at some point. So, Jonathan.
Yes. Yeah, usually, for anyone who's new, usually we do not play video games while podcasting, but we wanted to be funny.
I don't know. It's just I wanted to take a good old American road trip.
Plus, everyone can see the beautiful views of Switch too.
Yeah, and this game really is gorgeous. I think it's definitely the best way to showcase the Switch 2's power, and it's pretty much the only thing that does, except for Donkey Kong, but I don't have that, so...
Rad.
And we'll talk about that. So this is, of course, episode 40 of our show. Last episode, we talked about Oblivion and Oblivion Remastered, and then Jonathan gave us a stellar review of Look Outside, the Devolver Digital pixelated RPG. He convinced me to play it. I'm sure he convinced some of you to play it. This episode's all about Switch 2. Next episode, we're going to be reviewing more games. So, back to normal. You can follow us everywhere at SoftlockPod. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/@SoftlockPod. And like I mentioned, there is video for this episode. If you're listening on Spotify or YouTube Music, there is video there. You just have to click into it. So go ahead and watch that. Nothing important is going to be happening, but just for the vibes. And I think that's all the housekeeping. So let's just talk about the Switch 2. Jonathan, what are your overall thoughts so far? And I guess let's roll out.
Yeah, let's get on the road first. So as we begin on this long and winding road on the hot desert sun in the Mushroom Kingdom, which frequently changes its shape and size and general entire being. I want to say that the hands on the Switch 2. I did not think I was gonna get a Switch 2. I just got it on a pure whim. I was told that I put myself on that waiting list, and then I forgot about it, and then I woke up one morning, and it was like, it's your turn to buy a Switch 2. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm getting a Switch 2. So I purchased it, came in the mail, and after having it for a week, I gotta say, it's like nothing changed at all. Really. in a certain way, it's almost like, when the Switch came out, when this first Switch came out, that was a big deal. It was like, holy shit, that was like a new form of gaming. And now we have the Switch 2, and it's a very impressive piece of hardware. But honestly, it's almost like nothing has changed at all. That's how I keep thinking of it as. You know that song that plays in Sherman and Bastille, Sherman and Peabody. That song, I think of that song every time I think of the Switch 2. Because as much as things change, things stay the same. We get the Switch 2, Switch 2 comes out, we're getting ports of old games that don't perform as well as consoles that they've already been on for a while. We're starting out the Switch 2 with like no fucking games at all. Go on any website and it's like, how many games are there? Maybe 10 Switch games out right now. One of those, well, now it's 2, but like only 2 of those being Nintendo properties. So we have no games, third-party games that are coming to the Switch 2 that just do not perform as well as their original counterparts. And, generally the console is structured the same with some additions. But really, it's like almost nothing has changed at all. That's how I really feel. And you know what? That's not entirely a negative thing. I'm not saying that like, what the fuck? I wanted all these new features. The Switch 2 is a pretty fun piece of hardware, but it's not that much different than the Switch 2 in terms of like, philosophy, I guess.
Yeah.
Am I kind of making sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm echoing pretty much everything you're saying. Remember, like, for the last 5 years, how every year someone was convinced we were going to get a Switch Pro? This is it. This is essentially the Switch Pro. It's not...
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily worthy of a 2, but I understand why they called it Switch 2.
I think Nintendo might be... They might finally be becoming a normal company.
I don't know about all that.
Maybe not a normal company, but they're becoming more traditional in a way that they weren't before. Nintendo every console was radically different from the other in some way ever since like the GameCube, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The NES and the NES, SNES. I mean, SNES was 16-bit. There wasn't really that much room for innovation back then. It was just like upgrading the hardware. N64, of course. Then we get to the GameCube, and that's a pretty traditional console. And then we get to the Wii.
It was a GameCube, pretty traditional, but at the time it was the most powerful console, and that was like unique for Nintendo.
Yeah. But like in terms of like, it's just like you get the GameCube and it's a console and a controller and there's not really any like frills about it. You know what I mean?
Weird ass controller though.
Weird ass controller, but goddamn, we love it. And then then the Wii comes out, and we all know the story with the Wii, the motion controls. That starts like a trend that lasts about a decade. Wii U comes out. That's another like random thing. They're like, okay, let's make it a pad. Tablets are really popular right now. Let's put a pad on it, and let's call it Wii U, and let's sink our company financially for a couple years. And then the 3DS, radically different than what we had before. Not that much different from like the Game Boy, I would say, but 2 screens, and one of them is a touch screen. It's a big deal. 3DS, yeah, it's going to be 3D. Like, these are all insane things. And the last thing we got was the Switch. And, it was the whole thing about this portability. Slap it into the console, put it on a dock, portability. That was like the whole thing. And instead of going in a completely different direction, we are getting a derivative of a home console. And the derivatives were kind of reserved for the handhelds in Nintendo at the time. You know what I'm talking about? Like the DS,
Yeah,
DSi,
DSi.
DS Lite, 3DS, all the same console, but with slightly new features. This is kind of in the same vein as that, as the Nintendo Switch. It's almost like a DSi, DS Lite, 3DS in a way, in that we're not getting something radically different. We're getting a derivative with more features, and it is like the next generation, but it's not like overhauling and doing everything from the ground up. And that, that's something Nintendo doesn't really do. And now they've done it. And it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't know about you, but when I got my Series X, when I got my PlayStation 5, I wasn't like, holy shit, this is the next, like this is next generation of gaming. Like, oh my god. I was like, okay, this is, all right, I can play all my games at 60 FPS, but I'm kind of still playing the same sorts of games. I'm playing it the same way. You know?
Yeah.
That's how the PS5 and the Series X went. But when I played the Switch for the first time, I was like, this is the new echelon of gaming. Like, this is brand spanking
when you play
new.
Breath of the Wild on handheld for the first time and it works and it doesn't look like a 3DS game, that was pretty mind-blowing. I agree.
It's crazy. But now we have a more traditional next-gen experience. Something more akin to how people must have felt when they got their PlayStation 5 or their Xbox Series X. Where they're like, wow, this is incredible, but it's not changing the way I live my life, you know?
Yeah, and the way I think of it kind of is, the Switch really was a handheld, but we were so impressed with how much of an improvement it was from the 3DS that we were like, oh no, this is console gaming on the go, like they said. It was not. It was really a handheld. And the further and further we got into the generation, the more the cracks started to show of Tears of the Kingdom running at 15 FPS for a large majority of it, and that was one of the most optimized games.
Yeah,
If anything, I feel like the Switch 2 is just them fully realizing the promise of Switch 1, and we'll see how that continues if we're just going to have like a cycle where we see the games tank in performance again. But like looking at this game right now, I mean, it's running smooth. It looks fantastic. The footage I've seen of Donkey Kong, same thing. So you're right. It is iterative. It is in the vein of the jump from 360 to Xbox One in terms of like maybe not as dramatic of a shift, but in maybe a bit more, I would say, than the jump from Xbox One to Series X, because it's like these are the same games but prettier. This is I don't think that Mario Kart World could run in the way that it does on Switch 1. It would run terribly.
Not. Yeah, absolutely fuck not.
So
I mean more of like in the way that you're kind of playing it the same way. Like, there's not some extra thing, you know, like they were like, all right, Switch 2, it's got 2 screens. You know what I mean? Like, they're not doing that.
Yeah,
they're just
like,
you know, this works. So maybe let's just make it better. Let's just make it better and more appealing, perhaps. Let's basically, and also because Nintendo has always been underpowered in terms of equipment, they've taken this opportunity to be like, okay, the Switch has printed money. How about let's just catch up to other games, like other game consoles? Because that's the biggest thing that the Switch lacks, and Nintendo lacks in general, is power of their consoles. That it makes it very difficult for anyone who isn't a Nintendo gamer to pick Switch.
Right. But it is a bit interesting, their strategy so far, where really I don't think they're concerned with third-party games at all. Even though, like, they never really were, but then when the Switch got so popular, you started to see third parties try to adopt it, and it just wasn't working out.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 would be an opportunity. I mean, we see things like Yakuza coming to Switch 2. They, like, barely sent out any dev kits for the Switch 2. They didn't get any contracts for, like, Switch 2 versions of, like, Witcher 3 or Nier Automata or anything. I guess I got Cyberpunk, but still, there's a lot of things missing here in favor of that old school Nintendo magic, and it's kind of just, it remains to be seen what this thing actually is, because right now it's just a Switch, but a little more powerful, with a mouse that I'm not going to use. So...
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing about the Switch is that the problem with the Switch right now is that there's no games, and that was the problem with the Switch when it came out originally. I just nailed you, sorry. The problem with the Switch originally was that there's no games, and the Switch 2 has come out, and there's once again no games. When the Switch 1 came out, what fucking games were on Switch? I think it launched with Breath of the Wild, and what else was on the Switch? On release? There was a couple of eShop games maybe.
Yeah, there was Bomberman R, there was Puyo Puyo Tetris, there was Has-Been Heroes.
Yeah.
But there was the promise of Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 3 and Xenoblade 2 on the horizon.
Yes, which we did get very quickly.
Yeah.
But that is not, your console is launching with no games. Just that is an important thing to know, is that your console is launching with very few games. And Nintendo Switch 2 has launched with very few games. But let's make a... Granted, you can play all of your Nintendo Switch 1 games.
Thank God, because that was kind of up in the air there for a little bit.
Which would have been ridiculous if you could not. And, a lot of them, Nintendo Switch, again, notable for not being very powerful, having issues, especially for non-first party games. So now you can play all these games that you had on your Switch 1 in better ways. They run smoother, they look better. Not all of them do, but a lot of them do. Do they look better than the native console that they were on originally? Still no. But they do look better.
And we can't discount the portability factor here, because yes, the Steam Deck can probably run all of these third-party games much better in a handheld form, but the Steam Deck also weighs like 1,000 pounds compared to the Switch 2. Yes. So it's a lot more portable, it's a lot more convenient, and not everyone can afford a Steam Deck because that is very expensive. Well, I guess can't really say anything because the Switch 2 is also kind of crazily expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive, and guess what? It's extremely hard to get a hold of. So
I actually heard that this time around they kind of planned ahead, and it hasn't been too tough to get a Switch 2.
I mean, I got one, and I notoriously don't try.
Yeah.
So, so anyone can do it, I guess. If I can do it.
Yeah. I'm not too concerned with the launch itself, to be honest, because I got a Switch 2 because I love my Switch. I think my Switch is probably my favorite piece of hardware that I own, and now, by default, the Switch 2 is, because everything that I've played on it is just better. And in handheld, which is how I primarily use the Switch, the screen is fucking huge. It's gigantic. Like, you don't notice from the trailers that the Switch 2 is really that big. Like, I compared the Switch 2 tablet is the same size as a launch Switch 1 with the Joy-Cons attached.
It is, I would say, even bigger than that. It's large. It's extremely large.
Yeah, and the screen is really nice. It's not OLED, which does really bother me.
But it's HDR.
It is HDR. It is.
And 120 FPS.
And it is 120 FPS, although I've yet to see any game put that to use.
Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2 welcome tour, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not getting that shit. Thanks for offering, though. So we'll see, and like if my TV isn't 120 hertz and I don't necessarily want to play Switch on my monitor, so really that's going to be a handheld thing for me, so we'll see once games start to adopt it. I think I remember reading that Metroid Prime 4 is going to support 120 hertz in handheld mode, so that'll probably be my first experience with it. Yeah. But yeah, I love my Switch. I really just wanted more power out of it, and I really love Mario Kart, and I really love the Mario 3D platformers, which, DK Bonanza is essentially that now. It's the same team and everything. So I was just I wanted to be an early adopter with the promise of these games to come, and then also get a better experience with the games I already had, and so far, I'm extremely satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, I got a Switch 2 because I like the games. I don't necessarily care about the hardware that much. I just like their game. And then when Donkey Kong, Big DK fan over here. So when I heard that they were gonna make Donkey Kong, I was like, shit, I gotta get a hold of this one soon. And lo and behold, I didn't think I was gonna do it, but I was playing Donkey Kong Bonanza day fucking 1. So you know, I have 3 games on the Switch 2 right now. Could that be better? Yeah. But
it'll get there. I mean,
yeah. Let's not talk about what the Switch 2 doesn't have.
Yeah.
Right? We've gone through that already. Right? Where Switch 2 doesn't have games. That's pretty much the big thing.
When a console launches, a lot of times it doesn't have games.
Does not have games.
Look at the PS4. When that thing launched, what the fuck were you playing? But then by the end, last year of the PS4 even, you got so many games on that thing. So
that was plenty of games.
Yeah. So Switch as well.
Yeah, I want to talk about the actual console itself.
Okay.
What this console has, because I actually think the Switch 1 is not really that interesting of a piece of technology, I would say. It is I think it's impressive, the Switch 1, right? But there's not that much to kind of like glean from it. You know, you got the Joy-Cons, they snap in. You got the screen, and you know, the actual like tablet itself, which is also the console and dock. And that's kind of like it. I feel like it's not really that like entirely interesting. But they did a lot of work to make the Switch 2, the actual console itself, have a lot of character, give it a lot of features that are just interesting, features that are satisfying, and that's something that consoles don't really do. People aren't really, you know, Microsoft and Sony, they're not releasing consoles like, this console can do this thing. It's always like, look at the games you can play on this console. Nintendo Switch was like, look at this, we got a new stand. We got, look at this glossy screen. The Joy-Con snap in a different way. It could do this, it could do that, it could do this, it could do that. And it's like, that doesn't really happen, and I think that's very interesting. And I actually am, while I'm not impressed with the catalog of games we have so far, and what games we'll be getting in the future, because we don't really seem to be, I'm certain they're going to be making plenty of games for this fucking thing. But as of right now, we're just kind of like, well, they're coming eventually. We'll just have to see. I am actually extremely impressed with the actual console itself. I think it is actually a very interesting and just fun piece of technology to like hold in your hand and explore, actually.
I agree. I find a lot of the new additions to be not meaningless or gimmicky, but that's kind of the words that came to the tip of my tongue. Like the mouse, it's never going to be used widely. It's never going to be used well. I think probably the most promising feature I've seen of it so far is the mouse controls for Metroid, which are probably not going to be that great. Mm-hmm. And then, is there mouse functionality in the DK Art Studio, I think? I don't...
Yes,
okay.
there is.
So that seems like it could be kind of cool. But we didn't... I'm all for mouse support on consoles. You know that. I've been playing first-person shooters on my console with a keyboard and mouse for like 5 years now. So the more support we can get for it, the better. But the Joy-Con mouse functionality so far, I just am not very impressed with, and I don't really think is going to be a game changer. Same with the addition of the big fucking kickstand in the back.
Oh, man.
I've never enjoyed using the Switch in tabletop mode like that.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Do you ever do that, though?
Yeah, when I used to take my Switch out, well, I mean, I do now, but I actually, even though I have a Switch 2, I still use my Switch 1 outside because I don't really want to, I don't have a case for my Switch 2 yet. But, yeah, I would use the tabletop mode plenty.
Okay. Well, as you can tell, I was just getting distracted by the game, so I was trying to think of a thing to say. What I actually meant to say is the game chat.
Oh.
The game chat it's really bad, and it's not.
I haven't used it.
I've used it twice, and I didn't enjoy it. And even I get the argument is, you know, for kids, you know, when we were kids, we used to get on like Xbox Party Chat and like use our Kinect mics, and everything was shitty. the kids have Discord on their fucking like iPod Touch and iPhones now. It's not. I would have rather them implement either. You know how they had that app on Switch One, and everyone made fun of the app.
Mm-hmm.
Just if they just made the app work a bit better and actually connect with the Switch and not just be like a hassle to use, I think that would have just been fine. Because the game chat. Well, okay. It actually.
Well, yeah. What?
So the quality of game chat itself, the audio, surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So at least it's not Kinect mic level. And it also supports all USB-C mics, mics and cameras, not just the official one or the Prawn Plant one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big win. I was using my webcam as a webcam and a mic for game chat, and on the other end, no background noise, even though I was sitting in my living room with the camera attached to my TV, and everyone said that I sounded fine. Same thing with my friend who was just using their headphones plugged into the Switch as a mic, sounded fine. So the quality is there. I can't see anyone using it. I mean, am I wrong, or do you think this is a good idea for like kids or something?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. This is not for you. The game chat is not for you. This is for 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds playing games with their friends and family.
But I'm telling you, like I think we come from a generation where like 11 to 13, that's when you get online. Kids are on Roblox using voice chat now at like 8. So I don't know. I feel like the game chat is gonna fall to the wayside in favor of things like Discord or, you know, anything else. So I
don't know. I actually really don't think so. I can see a lot of people. I can see a lot of kids using it because it seems just so simple. Doesn't matter if it's bad. It just seems so simple and so convenient. That I can see young kids below the age of 13 using it. The kids of the age of 13 and above now, yes, probably using like Discord and shit like that. But I think for kids because not every kid is playing Roblox. I know it's like a lot of kids are. Not every kid is going to be playing Roblox, and I think it's for like them. It's just very convenient for them. So I actually do think children of a certain age group are going to get a lot out of it, but not us. It's not for us.
I know, and if I had this whenever I was that age, I definitely would. I just foresee this not being as popular as they think it is, and then the camera functionality. They're putting a lot of emphasis this generation on online connectivity, camera, video chat, using the camera in that like the Mario Party, whatever it's called, Jamboree expansion with the
Mario
camera.
TV Party.
Doesn't look like it works that well. The official camera doesn't look that good. A lot of the features that they're adding to this thing, I just find to be a bit redundant and not necessary. So I get what you're saying about it being a cool piece of tech. Now to transition to things I do like about it, I love the new Joy-Cons. I think the new Joy-Cons are leagues better than the original. I love the way they snap in. It feels so much more sturdy. And although my concerns about Joy-Con drift and the loosening of the Joy-Cons on the system itself haven't been entirely addressed, they just feel so much more premium this time around. Same thing with the tablet itself. I gotta say, I'm a hater. I never really liked the red and blue on the Switch. I always was the gray Joy-Con, and then when the OLED came out, I was the white Joy-Con kind of person.
Corporate ass.
Yeah, I know. It looked a bit Fisher-Price. It looked a bit like neon blue Wiimote era to me, and now this slight pop of color under the joystick and then in the part that it connects to the system itself, I really like that. I think it looks fantastic.
And let's talk about how they're magnetic too. No sliding shenanigans. And not that it was like that difficult to like slide the thing out, but they are extremely sturdy. So the magnet, the SR and SL buttons on the Joy-Cons are made of steel, and that's what is magnetized to the console.
Yeah, and it's such a simple mechanism. Like if you look at it, the button, I'm looking at it right now, the button that you press to pull the Joy-Con out of the slot, all it does is push a little piece of plastic out that pushes the SL and SR buttons far enough away from the magnet that it doesn't pull it, and then it's free. It's such a simple idea, goes a long way. It doesn't like jiggle. I don't know if your Joy-Cons did that, but mine were always just, they didn't feel like they were firmly attached, and I felt like if I like dropped the Switch or something, they were just gonna fly off. And,
oh, they do, yeah. If you drop your Switch and it lands on like a Joy-Con, it like fucking destroys the whole mechanism.
Yeah, this I feel this is a heavier console, so I feel like if in the event of a drop, I think more damage is gonna get done, but I don't think those Joy-Cons are going anywhere.
No.
What else do I love about the system? I think it feels a lot more premium. It's not metal like the OLED was, but the system itself just has higher quality plastic, I think. It feels better in my hands. As a handheld gamer, I enjoy holding this one a lot more. And it's got some heft to it, so if you want to like prop it up or something, I feel a lot more comfortable doing that. All in all, very satisfying handheld experience. I know you're more of a TV gamer with your Switch. How's the docked experience been for you so far?
Well, I mean, hey, it's the Switch 2. It's the Switch at 4K 60 FPS.
Yeah, 4K menu though.
4K menu. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's really nice. It is nice. It's actually kind of almost bizarre to see such high quality video coming out of Nintendo, because they have been so against that always. So seeing 4K 60 FPS out of your Nintendo console is like genuinely jarring and really exciting. Even though 4K 60 FPS has been around for a long time at this point, and other consoles have been doing that easily for years, it's very like, whoa, dude, Donkey Kong 60 FPS.
That is the thing with the 60 FPS. The 4K, I actually don't think most of these games are running in 4K now, so I don't think they will be later either, but that's fine. They look great. The 60
also
FPS
HDR. HDR looks really nice, and it also has VVR, the variable, or VRR, variable refresh rate.
Yeah, goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, and that's cool. It's just it's all cool stuff. All that kind of stuff is cool as fuck. Did you say that you can't get collectibles in the lobby? Because I just got a collectible right now.
I was under the impression you couldn't, but then I saw them earlier, so I guess I read wrong.
Peach medallion.
Maybe it's the P switches aren't here. I haven't seen those, so
I have not seen. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I really like the hardware, and honestly, and here's the thing, and maybe this could be a transition into the games of the Switch 2 that we have. But I gotta say, man, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Is it a very good game? I don't really know. Does it actually give a really, really interesting perspective and experience for the Switch 2? Yeah. I actually think it's very cool. I'm getting a really good appreciation for it. I'm getting a really strong appreciation for the Switch 2 because of Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. And I wish everyone could have that experience.
That is the biggest fumble of like the last 5 years for Nintendo, and they make a lot of fucking mistakes. Why is Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour $10?
I mean, well, I'll be honest with you. It is like a full game. It is like it is a game. It is like it's actually very polished. There's lots to see, lots of lots of content actually. Right? However, I will not defend the $10 price point. I think Nintendo probably should have taken the loss financially just for Welcome Tour and just include it as a pack-in. Wii Sports was not originally packed in with the Wii. I just found that
doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
What?
No. It was planned. I'm sorry. I said that wrong.
Okay,
it was planned to not originally be included with the Wii. And actually, I believe in countries like Japan, it was not, and it never was. But when the Wii was coming to America, I believe Iwata or someone was like, "Oh, sorry, I had to stop playing to relate this story."
No,
to make sure
look at the sunset, man. It's beautiful.
I know, it looks beautiful. I believe Iwata or someone of the sort was like, if we're gonna sell this to the Western audience, we should include Wii Sports, right? And he got a lot of pushback, I believe, but they ended up doing it, and that was a genius move, because you have something for free, brand spanking free, to show what the Wii can do. I can use it. I can swing my arm like a baseball bat. I can do tennis. I can do bowling. I can do all this really interesting shit for free, and I just get it with my console immediately. That's really, really cool, and that would have went a long way. And I think Nintendo should have taken the financial loss once again. Did Welcome Tour cost way more money to make than Wii Sports? Probably. I still think they should have either taken a financial loss and either making it free or making it significantly cheaper. I think if they made it $5, that would have been somewhat reasonable. I think $10
I probably would have bought it for $5. Yeah.
Yes, I think $10 is a bridge too far for many people. I bought it because I kind of thought about it, and I spent like $600 on getting the console with the bundle and the tax and the shipping. And then the controller and then the games, there's fucking $80, $70. I was just like, I looked at the price.
Wait, did you get the Pro Controller?
I did get the Pro Controller. Yes, we can talk about that later too.
Yes.
But I was looking at the prices, and I already spent, a little on the better half of $1,000. And I was just like, what am I really, like, just by principle, am I gonna be like, oh, by principle, I'm not gonna play this? I'm not gonna get this and play this because I think it's overpriced. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Let me just, one of the only things on the Switch 2 right now, made for the Switch 2, and it should show me a lot of things about the console. Let me just see. So I bought it, and I'm not gonna defend the price, but I can't say that I really regret it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you do in it? Because I've been so, like, I read a little bit of review for it. I watched a couple podcasts, but for the most part, I've been just media blackout on it because I just don't care. So, like, what is it? What do you do?
Sorry, hold on. Let me take a sip of water. I got
You're
really,
good.
I got really
yeah.
cotton
Got heated.
Oh, that was good. Oh, I'm gonna pretend like my character was in the ocean, just drinking all that salt water. I'm like, oh, I'm so thirsty.
Badlands chugs.
Badlands chugs the ocean. Put that video up. Wait, right now. All right, we're back.
All right.
All right. So Nintendo Switch 2 is basically a little game where you are in a museum like setting. Like, the context of the game is that you are in a giant Switch 2 that is essentially like a big museum, like educational tech demo, and you have a little avatar. And you go around this little isometric perspective of this giant Switch 2, separated into big sections. The left Joy-Con section, the screen section, the right Joy-Con section, and then you go down more into like the guts, and there's a section for like the Pro Controller and like the wheel and shit like that. And you just go around these areas, and there's like a bunch of other visitors and guests there who are also like enjoying the museum. And you go around and you just see like exhibits. You read information about them, about like certain features, like the Joy-Con. It'll give you like 4 panels of information that'll tell you all about the Joy-Con, like a fully, entirely educational experience. Then you take like little quizzes that give you medals and stamps, and you can use those medals and stamps to play mini games that are crafted specifically for the unique features of the Switch 2. The first one that many people will probably play is the one. So the first section is the left Joy-Con, and that section, immediately shows you everything about the mouse controls. So the first minigame is this kind of like, you pilot this little UFO, and you use mouse controls to avoid all these like big like rocks and bombs and shit that are flying by, and it's like a survival mode essentially. And that's what the game is. That is pretty much the gameplay loop. Go through these different exhibits, educate yourself. Don't hit me with a fucking hammer. Get the fuck over here. Was that you?
That wasn't me, but I wish it was.
Just got hit by a hand. Oh, there's a guy on the fucking thing. Yeah. So you just educate yourself and do these like little mini games, and it's actually quite interesting for a male in their 20s. You're like, oh wow. They made, they do little tech demos. It's like, wow, I could shake my Joy-Con. And, one that I saw in the, one of the announcements was like, shake your Joy-Cons like a pair of maracas. And it's like, oh, that's funny, I guess. Because it's showing you like the HD Rumble. And it'll show you like a little diagram of how the HD Rumble works. So the HD Rumble, this is some of the stuff I know now from playing this game. The HD Rumble is actually it's a weight in the controller, at the bottom of the controller of the Joy-Con, and it actually, so you know how most older Rumble features, it's just a weight that like just spins around?
Yeah.
In the Switch 2, it shakes side to side, and it's programmed to make very nuanced, very calculated movements that simulate like real things from shaking side to side. It's a very intelligent piece of technology. And in the tech demo, it's like, oh yeah, you can shake it like a thing of maracas. You're like, hee hee, it rumbles like a maraca. And then you can change it to like, it's like, okay, I changed what's inside the maraca. I don't want it to have a bunch of beads. I want it to have like a rubber ball in it, and you shake it around, and it feels completely different. And it actually does genuinely feel like you're shaking around a little, like a rubber, something like a piece of machinery with a rubber ball inside. Very, very impressive. Because it's basically simulating it, and it also simulates it on the TV, like what the Joy-Con is simulating to rumble. Very, very, very interesting.
Since you're the expert now, maybe you'll know. Is it different from the Switch 1 HD Rumble? Because them ice cubes, man. Them ice cubes on the Switch 1, pretty good.
I do think it's different. Is it that much different? Don't know. But is it different? Yes. Is it impressive? Also, yes. Is it going to be underused? Ultimately, yes.
Whenever you brought up that the buttons were made of steel, I was like, wow, how does he know that? And now I know.
I learned it from Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I went to like the other Joy-Con and was like, no, I think I was still on the left Joy-Con. It starts out very strongly, because it's like, look at the Joy-Con, look at the controller in your hand. We're going to talk about the controller in your hand. And that's a very good way to start things, because that's like something tangible that you can look at and be like, oh wow, look at that. Yeah, it told me that like, yeah, it connects magnetically through the SR and SL buttons, because they're made of steel and they slap in just like that. Yeah. What another interesting thing is that once you get to like the screen, I found out that the screen can actually, the touch screen of the Switch 2 can support up to 10 points of contact. And
interesting.
Yes, interesting. Is that worthwhile? Probably not. But
WarioWare incoming?
WarioWare incoming, perhaps. But yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2 can support 10 points of contact, and there's a mini game all about like, put all 5 fingertips on these spots as fast as you can. You know, like that's like one of the mini games that you can play, and then there's different like variations of the same games you can play. Like, okay, you beat the game. You pass this minigame, now let's give you the next level. Let's give you the hard mode. You know, and most of the minigames have like separate levels of difficulty with different objectives. But that's basically Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Educational, but it does have plenty of activities. A couple things called like tech demos, where it'll be like, a funny one was showing you what 4K is. And it actually describes what 4K is like pretty effectively. It shows you a good example of how 4K like sort of, that fucking semi-truck is going out of control. You
That's
see
me,
that
baby.
thing? That's you? God damn. It shows you 4K. It's like 4K. It shows you the amount of pixels, and it pretty accurately explains how like pixels and resolutions on TVs work. And then it goes, okay, play Mario Bros. 1. Using the original amount of pixels, but not stretched out to be on a 4K screen. So you're playing Mario 1, and it's super, super small on your TV.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, it's super small on your TV, and what it does is that it kind of plays it, it emulates it in an interesting way where it's super small on your TV on the left side, and as you go to your right, the screen just extends. So instead of the screen scrolling, the right side of the screen just extends to show how many pixels you are traveling. And that's how it kind of shows like how 4K works and how like pixels work. And I thought that was interesting.
See, that's the kind of stuff that I would want out of it, but from what I've seen, isn't it just a lot of, like, you know, Mario Paint fly swatting type mini-games where you're just kind of doing it once and you're like, okay, that was fine, and then moving on?
Yeah, but there's also a lot of the mini-games and demos have different levels that you can do, so you kind of, like, mess with them, and there's different objectives in some of them. So there actually is a game there that's could be worthwhile to you.
All right. I don't want to yuck your yum, but I've been kind of dancing around it, and I gotta ask it.
Okay.
What is it fun? Because this could have been Nintendo Land.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
It's moderately fun.
Because there's no reason that this couldn't have been Nintendo Land with the education stuff in there. And Nintendo Land fucking rocks.
Nintendo Land does rock, but they're two philosophically completely separate things. Nintendo Land was not like, let me show you what the Switch 2 can do. Nintendo Land was just like, you want to play like a jank-ass version of Pikmin with your friends?
It could be, though, couldn't it? The education could then lead into a mini game that's just as high quality as Nintendo Land that showcases these features.
Nintendo Land is in a museum. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is Nintendo Land?
Yeah, they could. Why couldn't they have just made the museum aspect of Switch 2 Welcome Tour, but then replaced the mini games with Nintendo Land style mini games that are actually fun, replayable, and multiplayer?
Because then the game would have been $30.
Nintendo Land was like $40, and I would buy 8 copies of Nintendo Land.
I'm sorry, did I say $30? I mean, because then it would have been $70. That's what I meant. If they actually went and developed a large-scale thing like you're describing, the game would have been extremely expensive, and then people really wouldn't have bought it. Let's be honest here. $10 is really not that much in gaming terms these days. You're basically buying an indie game. You're basically buying the price of an indie game. You know what I mean? It's really not that big of an ask. I'm not defending the most wealthy video game corporation on the planet. I'm just saying that it's really not that much. And I believe that the content of Welcome Tour reflects that. It's a $10 value.
Okay.
Probably less. All right. So if you want something that's going to be like Nintendo Land and it's going to be like actively fun, Nintendo Switch 2 is like as fun as you would have in a museum. As fun as we had in the Baltimore Aquarium doing one of those interactive activities. That's how much fun Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is.
Okay. All right.
And that's the best I think you're going to get without it being double, triple, quadruple in price.
All right. I'll get off your ass for it.
But I agree. No, I'm not getting defensive. I'm not saying you were wrong in any way. I'm just saying, like, I think that's just what would happen. Because Nintendo is not pulling any punches in the anti-consumer realm. So if they made anything higher than what they did, they would have been like, you know, shell out, chump.
Yeah, true. Because Mario Kart is, what, $80?
Mario Kart World is ridiculously expensive. It's almost actually insane that they even... Because here's the thing. New games now are $70. It is what it is. That every company is doing it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Every company is doing it. We can't really do much about it. The only thing we can actually genuinely do about it is, 1, not buy them at full price anymore and wait for sales. 2, buy more indie games and games that are not being sold at $70. Right? But then Nintendo just went, yeah, but also, by the way, Mario Kart World's $80 because go fuck yourself. Really, genuinely no real reason why it's priced at $80.
It's kind of a joke because, like, Tears of the Kingdom was $70. And we were all like, all right,
Yeah.
it's probably worth it, but come on now. And then they didn't really do the $70 thing, and now they're like, oh yeah, the biggest game we have, 80.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also granted. I would not even be surprised. It doesn't really seem like Mario Kart World is that much. It's not like a huge game. I know when they were like dropping it, they were like, "This is gonna be the biggest Mario Kart game ever." I don't really think that's true. Besides the open world, which is very nice, the actual gameplay is still, it's just Mario Kart. I don't really understand why it's $80. Donkey Kong Bananza was $70, and that already seems like it took a lot more time and was a lot more finicky to actually get up and running. It probably took much more resources and much more brain power to get Donkey Kong Bananza up and running than Mario Kart World. But here's another thing. Mario Kart 8 is one of the best-selling games of all time. Nintendo knows that they can charge $80 and everyone will buy it.
Yeah.
You know? They don't know if everyone's going to buy Donkey Kong Bonanza. So
Yeah,
they wouldn't charge Donkey Kong Bonanza $80, but they would do Mario.
Do you think there's anyone that bought a Switch 2, like, now that doesn't also have Mario Kart? I'm sure there's a couple, but, like, really, it's a Mario Kart machine right now.
Yeah, I really... If you're not getting Mario Kart, then I really don't know why you would get a Switch 2. I mean, no, that's not true. That's not entirely true. But it does seem like a bizarre decision. It's almost like having a Switch without having Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine having a Switch in, like, 2019 and you don't have Breath of the Wild. Your friends are like, what are you fucking waiting for? Like, the only game on the Switch for several... Like, a year, dude.
Yeah.
But, you know, Nintendo can charge as much as they want, and
yeah,
they probably won't get bitten in the ass for it. So
let's go into Mario Kart review, because there's a lot of game here to chew on and a lot to talk about. Something that I think made me appreciate the artistry of this game more, and this is like one of those like big nerd things that doesn't necessarily reflect in the product, but it kind of reflects the way you approach consumption of it, is that this game was developed by 4 of Nintendo's studios in conjunction. And one of them was Monolith Soft, and you're like, oh, that's why the open world is so big and actually looks good. And then it's the Mario Kart team, and you're like, okay, that's why the new tracks, are just as good as the old tracks. Then I forget exactly who else was working on it, but I'm sure, you know, they all hands on deck. I think Hal had something to do with it as well. So you can just see, like, every bit of art in this game. There's so many signs. There's so many unique textures. There's so much, like, pixel effects, particle effects, the music. I mean, everything. There's so much to this game.
Beautiful
that
world.
It's beautiful. The tracks themselves are so well crafted. There's tons of characters, tons of personality. It's just a big, big package, and it's a lot to go through. I have been having the time of my life with it. I really, really love it. I've 3-starred all of the 150cc cups. I haven't done mirror mode yet, but I don't really think I'm going to. And I've been really fucking with just playing online. I think Knockout Tour is the greatest addition to Mario Kart since, like, items. So
yes, I agree. I think Knockout Tour is very interesting. I
love it. The online actually works, even with 24 players. I mean, sometimes they fill it in with bots, but whatever. And the returning tracks are great pulls, and the way they've redesigned them is great for nostalgia. The new tracks are just as great. I'm over the moon with this game. How are your first impressions after a week and then a little bit of playing co-op a couple weeks ago?
So I am not really a Mario Kart guy. I've never been a Mario Kart guy. I'm not even very good at Mario Kart, as we've discovered. But I gotta say, this is a really good starting point for someone who really isn't into it. Right, there's a very good reason to play it right now, considering it's again only game on Switch 2. And But I'm not seeing it as like the second coming of Christ like a lot of other people are seeing it. I am seeing it as a very good game, very worthwhile game. But I'm just like, yeah, this is just like just really fun, and that's kind of it, I guess. I'm just like, yeah, it looks pretty. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm having fun with my friends. But it is the Mario Kart that I've known my whole life. Just it's taken yet another form. I'm not like shitting my pants over like they're doing this brand new. I'm just like, yep, this is it. This is what I knew.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's just going with what works. It's basically Mario Kart 8 with just a bunch of layers of paint put on top of it. They didn't change anything too dramatically in terms of gameplay, even game feel. I notice a big difference, but I know it's really not that different from 8.
Right. I mean, hey, you want to just do a Grand Prix right now? Like, we don't have to change how we're talking. We'll just do a Grand Prix. Just like,
bro, we'll do one race because I'm not gonna be able to podcast and race.
You don't think you'll be able to? Just like
Absolutely
casually
not.
doing a Grand Prix. You don't have to worry about what place
not.
you're in.
I lock the fuck in when I play
I
Mario
don't.
Kart.
I guess that's a big difference between me and you. I'm not. I've never been like a racing game kind of guy, but I do like casual Mario Kart. I do just like being like I like losing. You know.
So it's one of those games that it's so good that it's kind of hard to even give it a fair review because I'm like, okay, well it's a 10. So I mean, yeah, there's things wrong with it, but I can't really think of things I would need to make it better. What I'll say though is, after a month with it, of playing it pretty much every day for a couple weeks, and then most days for the rest of the time, I don't like it as much as Mario Kart 8. But I also played Mario Kart 8 for 10 years. So
that's true.
We will see if that changes over time, especially if there's DLC involved, which, of course, that's going to cost money, so we're going to have to review on what's here and not what isn't here. But you imagine there's going to be some pretty good DLC. Or at least, updates. The one thing I'll say about the new stuff, even though I love it, is the open world. Driving around. I mean, we've been driving around here for what, like an hour? I've been having a great time just like taking in the sights. Sometimes I'll just pop in like I do in Forza and just drive around when I'm bored and like I'll follow a Yoshi from like point A to point B, see what he's going, what's up with him, or like look at the backgrounds of the courses.
Yeah.
Very
cute.
As a game, not great.
Yes.
At all.
Yes. Not really anything going for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it is good. The content that is there is well made. All of the P-Switch challenges I've done are either cute or genuinely a bit challenging and ask me to play the game in a unique way that I haven't before. The collectibles, less so. I kind of find them pretty frustrating. But
is the only collectible Peach coins?
There's the Peach coins, and then there's the question mark blocks in each of the courses.
Can we talk about? Hold on. Can we talk about how the open world is like hidden? How I was like, how the fuck do I get to it? And yeah. I had to have you tell me how to get to it.
Yeah, it's like, absolutely hidden. And in interviews and stuff, they've shied away from calling it an open world, and they hide it. I do think it's because they know that it's kind of not up to snuff, but they had to bite the bullet and be like, well, the game itself is good. It's a good-ass game. People are going to love it. People are going to buy it. Why do we need to make the open world part of it better when the Mario Kart part of it is already near perfect? Right. And I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, it is a solid Mario Kart game. It is, does it do anything, like, incredibly different or new or interesting? I don't really think so, but it just does it really, really good. And honestly, that's, I think, a really good way. I think that's what Mario Kart kind of needs right now. And I just genuinely enjoy that as a console starter. You know, it's like just like this is a solid kart racer. This is a great kart racer with no real frills or gimmicks or any barriers for people to get into. It's just Mario Kart as you've always remembered it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, the new additions, that's the thing, is there are a lot of new additions. They're all kind of I want to call them half-baked, but they're just not important, so they don't really need to, like, wall riding and grinding.
Yeah.
Not really that big of a change. I've seen the funky clips of people taking, like, insane shortcuts and stuff. Even at its highest level of play, Mario Kart 8 was never truly focused on the shortcuts like Wii was. Really, it's not... And plus, for 99% of people who play the game, not important at all. The open world, it's fun enough. That's all it has to be. And truthfully, I want it to be better than it is, but my big hang-up with it is because I want to 100% it, but it doesn't want to be 100%ed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's no hints as to where the things are on the map. There's no way to track your progress. You don't unlock anything for doing it. I don't even think you get, like, a cart or anything at the end.
Right,
It's just these stickers, which is, like, cool, but it's not like Brawl stickers where they do things that you just look at them and you can use them as your profile picture online. It's like, okay.
Yeah, like, they don't do anything.
Yeah, so all that, like, the content itself is good enough, and, like, frankly, I'm happy with that. So, yeah, super solid Mario Kart. Definitely gonna go down as one of the best ones. I don't know what else there is to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's Mario Kart.
I am
is pretty much what they've shown is what you've got. I feel like Nintendo is right now. Nintendo is being very good about being transparent, and they're just like, here is the game, and then I get the game and I go, oh yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was not how Nintendo was for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. And they also are leaning... They've always been this way, but they're really leaning into the Nintendo magic of it all, where there's no options. The game runs perfectly how it is. The game is how the game is. You don't edit anything. The most you can do is turn on, like, auto steer.
Yeah.
The game is just... I'm presenting you with content. Do you enjoy it? Yes or no? And mostly the answer is universally yes, for anyone that you put the controller in their hand. While we're wrapping up this Grand Prix, tell me about the Pro Controller, because I didn't get one. I didn't really see the big upgrade from the Switch 1 Pro Controller, so what's the difference? What have you been enjoying about it so far, and what is something I should be on the lookout for with that?
Sure. Well, so the Pro Controller is similar to the Switch 2. It is just a new Pro Controller, and it's upgraded. Just upgraded. It feels nicer. It plays nicer. I believe it has a better battery. The sticks specifically. Oh man, those sticks feel like they're on a cloud. You know, every controller, the stick, you know, you can like slap it and make like the Pro Controller on the Switch. You can really, like, slap those sticks against each other. You know what? Not each other, but you know what I mean.
No,
right?
I don't. What, you mean like you can flick it and it makes a clacking noise? Is that what
you mean? You can clap your sticks together.
Yeah,
you can't do that. You cannot do it on this thing. It feels so smooth. If you get a Pro Controller, which I think you'll do eventually, if anyone has a Pro Controller right now, just take one of the sticks.
Flip on this banana for me, please.
No.
Oh.
Won't. Oh wow, that was a fast race. Anyway, take your joystick and just put it in just start spinning it in a circle. So smooth. So smooth. It doesn't feel like it's rubbing up against anything. It's very, very, very nice.
Ooh, I'm wondering, because a big problem I have with the Switch 1 Pro Controller is that the plastic around the joystick itself, it like rubs up against the stick and over time gets worn down. I'm wondering if they made those larger and now it's literally not rubbing on anything.
It doesn't rub. It doesn't rub. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't rub, and I've confirmed that. No rubbing.
You heard it here, folks, first. What did I just say? You heard it here first, folks. No rubbing on the Pro Controller 2.
No rubbing on the Pro Controller 2. Here's another thing that's also really cool. And also, you know, it has the, I'm just going to take a peek at it right now. I'm assuming you'll put a picture of it on screen.
Yeah.
You know, of course, the HD Rumble has been upgraded. Is it the same as haptic feedback on the PlayStation 5 controllers, the DualShock 5. I don't think I know it's like different things, but I mean essentially HD rumble and haptic feedback feel like the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The DualShock 5, however, is still the only console that is doing adaptive triggers, and the adaptive triggers are cool. So I do think eventually we're gonna have to get another controller with adaptive triggers, unless Sony has filed a patent. But yeah, we got those. We got that new HD Rumble 2, as they call it, according to Switch 2 Welcome Tour. They have these two buttons on the back. So you know those controllers you would get, those like third-party controllers for Switch and also other consoles where they would get. I know the Elite controllers for the Xbox has this, but the paddles.
Oh, I love a good paddle.
Yeah, so they're not paddles on the Switch 2 Pro controller. But they are two little buttons on the back of the controller near the crease of where the handles are, you know, where your two hands go. And they're called GL and GR. And those can actually be programmed to be whatever button you want, which is, you know, just a little added customization that could be really convenient towards a lot of people.
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
What? I didn't.
You just hit me with a shell.
No proof.
Okay. Well, you drove right past me.
Anyway, here's a bomb.
It's on video.
It's on
Roll
video.
the tape.
Yeah, roll that tape back. Oh! I just got hit by a bomb so hard that my crown flew off. Another thing that's cool that Nintendo has been slacking on for a long time. Finally, an audio jack on that controller.
Look who finally came around on the audio jack.
Yeah. Well, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know that you could plug your control. I thought that was just for. That was crazy. Did you do that?
No, that was Pauline.
Okay, whatever. I'm getting sidetracked because the game is sick. I did not know for the longest time that the audio jack on controllers transmitted the audio from the game. I always thought it was just for a microphone. So I was plugging in my headset into my TV for the longest time, and it was really, really bad. And now I am a true believer of it all, and I regret the way I've been living. And let me tell you, now that Nintendo has switched over and finally has done it, I'm like, goddamn, finally. I'm very pleased with that. That's also great. I will say that the Pro Controller on the Switch One had this problem where if you got oily ass hands, it's obviously the Pro Controller is black, and it's made out of a material that will get an oily sheen if you have oily hands and you do not wash your hands and clean that controller semi-frequently. I do believe that the Switch 2 material is somehow worse for that. I do believe that the only downgrade on the Switch 2 Pro Controller is that this material, I feel like, will definitely get that oily sheen eventually. I've been really good about taking good care of my controllers ever since my first Switch controller got like really disgusting from my oily hands. So I don't know if it'll happen again to me, but just by like memory, just by instinct, I feel like this material is going to be much worse for dirty hands. So keep your hands clean, keep this piece of machinery clean. But other than that, that is the really only negative thing I have to say about this controller. It's very expensive. Controllers are just very expensive these days, so it's really not that much to complain about. That's just the nature of the game at this point.
Yeah. And it did get hit by the tariffs pretty decently. Like they raised the price of it by like $15 in the last week before it came out. So.
Oh, really? Well.
Yeah. And they even like made a statement. They were like, "This is because of the tariffs." So thank you, Donald.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. I actually didn't even know that, and and now I'm upset. I wasn't upset, but now that you told me that it was cheaper, I'm a little upset.
Well, no. Like no one bought it for the cheaper price. It was never on the market for that price. That was what they announced it as, and then before they even went up for pre-order, they raised the price.
Oh, I guess everyone gets fucked. All right, well, that's fine, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the price is a bit high. You know,
so
it's not that much higher than other controllers, but
I'm a Pro Controller evangelist. 3 of them. I love the
yeah.
Switch Pro controller. It's one of my favorite controllers. Next to the Stadia controller. Who's my Stadia fans out there? And
all 10 of you. There are dozens of us.
but I'm always using the headphone jack on my DualSense and my Xbox controller, so I am like very tempted, but I can't really justify it. If everything else is exactly the same, then yeah, I think I'll eventually be picking one up just for the headphone jack of it all.
I think so, and I don't think they're gonna run out of stock anytime soon. And eventually, they're gonna make a night like special edition.
Well, yeah, I mean that's.
You know.
I don't even have. Well, Sam has a regular one, like the default one, but I have the Smash one, the Tears of the Kingdom one, and the Xenoblade 2 one, and I love all of the designs, so I can't wait to see what they come up with.
I think a lot of the designs are kind of tacky for the Nintendo Switch one, but I do have the Rise controller with the gold Magnum Hollow, and I like that one. I think that one's pretty cool.
Is that the only third parties? I mean, I think there's a Fortnite one, actually.
It is an official Pro controller.
Yeah, I just mean
it
like
might be
IP.
the only. Yeah, it might be the only third-party IP. Yeah, I believe so. There's actually not a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, meanwhile, there's like 37 million different Xbox controllers. You know?
Yeah.
Gold Shadow. Fucking.
So, what else are we playing on Switch 2? I can talk about Bravely Default HD for a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about a game that's been on 3DS for over a decade.
Yeah. So, this is a Switch 1 game. That is the
Okay.
end, that is the end of the review. This is you can tell. It is a game that could have run on Switch 1 with no problems whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure that they even kind of announced that it was coming for Switch. They didn't announce the game, but like the people at Square Enix were like kind of teasing like, "Hey, Bravely Default fans, we got something cooking," and that was like years ago.
Yeah.
And the only Switch 2 functionality for this is there's mini games you can use the mouse for on the main menu.
Yay! Isn't there like a rhythm game?
Yeah, I haven't messed around with any of the mini games at all. I've just been playing the game. With all of that in mind, it is gorgeous, and it really does look a lot better than the 3DS version. I was kind of leery about it because, you know, that art style. I was like, how much can you do with that art style to really make it look modern? They put a lot of work in to make this game look crisp as fuck. And
They update. Is the audio higher quality? Like, is the audio not the
Yes.
audio specifically, but the voice acting or the voice lines like higher quality?
So, yes, they are. But I'm also playing it in Japanese, so it has a little bit of like, I think they may have recorded this over the pandemic on Zoom or something. Like you can hear that just canny mic sound that a lot of those 2020 games had from Square Enix. It's not terrible. I haven't really listened to the English dub, and I don't think they redid the English dub, if I'm not mistaken.
No, and I doubt they redid the Japanese dub.
They didn't redo it, but I was reading that they did add a lot of stuff to the Japanese version to kind of update the script, and then the English version they didn't put as much attention towards the localization. They just kind of kept it as is, which is fine.
How do you localize a game that was already localized 10 years ago?
Well, that's what I mean. Is like they redid a lot of the script in the Japanese version, but they just didn't like relocalize it for the Switch version. Is what I'm saying.
I guess
like
I'm just
the new
confused
stuff.
on why they. I feel like I'm confused on why they had the need to redo it. It was already really good.
I don't know. I think it's a trend in like JRPGs now that if you're gonna make a remaster remake, you're gonna like add just more. Like there's more party chats. There's more conversations between the characters, and not all of them. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think all of them are voiced, which I think in the original they all were, at least the party chats. So far, I'm having a really good time with it, which you know, colored history with Bravely Default on this podcast.
Yes, yeah.
I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. so far,
What changed?
I don't know. I still am actually not really digging the job system. I know did you just get kicked out of the room?
No. Did you?
Oh, yeah, I did. Good old
Looks like
Nintendo.
I run the party now, buddy.
All right, I'll join back in. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm having a really good time with the turn-based combat. I think it's fantastic so far. It's kind of refreshing because I have butted heads with classic Final Fantasy and classic Square Enix, like Chrono Trigger style Xenogears type JRPGs for a long time. I like the idea of them, I get into them, and then I just, for some reason, can't stick with it. Like Final Fantasy VI I was playing last year, I only played for like maybe 10 hours at the most, and I was like,
Damn.
I'll come back to it.
My favorite genre of games.
I know, and that's why when you were talking up Bravely Default so much, I was like, well, yeah, but it's like a game genre that I'm not a super fan of, plus it has a job system that I didn't like when I played it the first time. I'm appreciating the combat a lot more this time around. I'm not getting bored by the grinding. I've been grinding a lot, actually, which is something I never do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can, because they still have the options to, like, raise the encounter rate and lower it, right?
Yeah.
And, right? Yeah.
And, yeah, that's to be honest, I think the ability to lower the encounter rate might be what's keeping me around, because I'm not lowering it whenever I'm in a new area, but I think the biggest thing that always turns me off for the JRPGs is if I lose and have a run back, having to do random encounters on the way back, or if a party member dies and I cannot possibly handle all this, having to go back and then run all the way back to where I was is just, it crushes me.
Right.
So that not being a factor, love it. I'm not even, like, if I was a little kid, which this is probably one of the reasons I didn't like it when I played it when I was like 12, is I probably was like, random encounters? No thank you. And I just turned it down to low, and then I was under-leveled for all the bosses. Not doing that. Not doing that. And I'm loving the dialogue. I know you were saying that's one of your favorite parts. I think the writing is fantastic.
Yeah, the script is really good.
It's really, really funny, actually, which I guess I should have expected, but it's even more than I thought. The music is really great. But these are all things that are just parts of the original, and they've just kind of crisped them up a little bit. Like the music, they've done some new arrangements and things like that. They've done some balancing tweaks. They updated some of the abilities you get for the jobs and what order you get them. Like there's some abilities that used to be, I don't know the terms, but there's some abilities you can use now earlier, and use them as passive abilities earlier, which is very helpful for getting through the early stages of the game. I'd love to review the game when I finish it, but I know it's very long, so that's not going to be for a while. What I'd like to talk on now is the HD remaster of it. So this game has static backgrounds. The original did.
Yes.
But they did do a lot with the depth of field and using it's a 3DS game, so it's an early 3DS game, so that meant obligatory 3D effects that were actually decent.
Hell yeah.
What would you feel about them in the original? I actually thought they were one of the better uses of the 3D.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't turn that shit on.
What?
It hurt my head.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I
now,
like
now
them.
I don't have a 3DS that has 3D capabilities, and I'm actually really sad about it.
Oh man, you don't have even your original.
I mean, I do, but like, all my data's off of it. It's in my closet. I gotta.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was good in the original, and they did a lot to preserve that feeling while also, I believe, redid all of the background art. I don't know if they redid it or if they just had like super high quality renders of it that they brought out of the dusty closet to update. But the backgrounds are incredibly gorgeous, and there's so many layers to them. You sit still for literally 3 seconds, and the game will zoom out to show you essentially the entire screen. And there's so much detail. There's so much to look at.
Especially in like towns and shit.
Yeah, and even in the dungeons and stuff, like there's flowing rivers and like geography or geology formations that you're like, wow, that you can tell someone spent a lot of time designing this by hand, and they're never going to reuse it. And it's really, really good looking. Not a Switch 2 game though. So
Yep.
It's only available on Switch 2, and it's definitely just a gimmick. So sorry about that. But if you're a fan of JRPGs, and if you like the original, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. I probably won't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you already played the original, I mean, unless you really want to go back to it, it's not like they didn't add any, to my knowledge, I mean, maybe I'll have to look into this. I don't think they added any new bosses or side quests or anything. I think it was mainly just balancing and voice acting and whatnot. So
I just
solid
like it on my
game.
3DS. I also because Bravely Second's on the 3DS too.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
that
if
was the
they,
thing is I
did
was like,
both.
is this gonna be as charming if it's not 3DS crunchy with all the pixels? But I'm telling you, the way they interpreted this art style, it's still just as cute, but it is sharp. And you look at it a side by side, and it is shocking how bad the original looks. You don't realize it when you're playing. No, you don't realize it when you're playing it. When you're playing it, Bravely Default looks fantastic. I mean, it's a 3DS game, but it has that 3DS style to it that they really honed in, where it's just like, yes, it's pixelated, but it's got a certain edge to it that you can just tell that this is a 3DS game, and it adds to its charm.
Love the 3DS style.
I do as well. And I do think the original holds up, but when you see it, I mean, look at it side by side right now. What else have you been playing? Tell me about Donkey Kong, because I don't have it yet.
Well, it's Mario Odyssey with DK. Yep.
Good enough. That's all I
Straight
want.
up.
Really, that is all I want.
I mean, I'm being a little facetious, but it is the general formula of Mario Odyssey. What is Mario Odyssey? The last 3D Mario game that came out, and it was like big, they drops you into these big open worlds, and it's full of a bunch of collectibles, and it's really about finding your own way and doing objectives in these big worlds, and also finding all these like random secrets around. Using your hat to take different forms and platforming and all that shit. It is that formula, but instead of using your hat and doing platforming as like a Goomba or taking possession of like a box and doing like a funny little like mini game where you play as like Solid Snake or whatever, you are instead in a completely mostly destructible environment, and you are Donkey Kong, so you have 2 big gorilla arms, and you can break through almost every terrain. So all the intrigue and platforming and exploration is all about busting through this destructible terrain and seeing where you can go and where you can dig through. You can pick up like rocks in the soil and throw it at things. You can dig down and find secret passages. You can find bananas, all that stuff. But in terms of like genuine, like the formula of the game, 100% Mario Odyssey. It's just actually how you go about doing it is different. And I gotta say, Mario Odyssey is probably my #1 Switch game. I think anyone can enjoy it. I think anyone I think everyone should own it. I feel the same way about DK Bananza right now. It's just like, I feel like I'm back. Again, it's like nothing has changed at all. I now have Mario Odyssey again on my Switch.
I would pay $1,000. I would pay more than that to be able to experience Mario Odyssey again for the first time, and if this can give me that experience, then that's really all I needed to do.
I think it'll get you really close at least.
Yeah.
Maybe not entirely Mario Odyssey. I don't have the jury's out on if it's better or not. Don't know. But let me tell you, I think it'll get really close. At least.
So I got a lot of questions, but at the same time, I actually don't want to be spoiled. I know it's kind of weird to talk about spoilers in a 3D platformer, but that's the Mario games for me. 3D Mario games are all about the exploration. And discovering. So I'm not going to ask any specific questions, but there's a couple things I've been wondering.
Sure.
So, is it a Donkey Kong game? Like, does it feel like DK Country in any way? Or is it really, you're just Mario, but you're not?
You're Mario, but you're a big gorilla, and you smash things apart with your big gorilla arms. So, it's not Donkey Kong. But, can you imagine Mario doing that shit? No.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. Am I upset about that? No, not really.
Okay. I really dig DK Country.
I really like DK Country too, but like, what are they gonna do? Make another DK Country game? It's like, okay, well, you could have, but also, I appreciate going into a new direction.
Yeah. And then the collectibles of it. There's the bananas.
There's the bananas.
So I didn't watch the direct because I don't want to know too much, but I did see a clip where he picks up a banana and goes, "Ooh, banana."
Mm-hmm.
So Donkey Kong talks now.
That's a deep cut from DK64.
Okay, but that doesn't count. Though.
You go, "Oh, banana," or you go like Donkey Kong, you know?
Okay, but we don't. Donkey Kong 64 didn't happen though, so.
That's true, but in this reality, it did.
Okay, so does he talk or is it just that?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't talk. He just does the old banana, and I don't really think that's supposed to be him. I think that's supposed to be. I to be honest with you, I don't really know. I can't really give an answer on it, but I mean, he talks like you can have like Zelda-esque dialogue. He talks in the same way Link talks.
That's fine.
You know?
That's okay. He's always done, but
oh yeah, I mean he makes sound too, but like he also has like dialogue, as in like not like written dialogue, like he has like a big text bubble at the bottom. Well, he'll be like, you talk to an NPC and they're like, "Damn, my fishing hole is full," and you be like, "Fishing hole?" question mark.
Yeah, same way Mario talks.
Same way Mario. Yeah, same way like all the silent protagonists do. Mm-hmm. Like they're not actually talking. However, he is very expressive and he's constantly going like, "Oh!" and like fucking getting lit on fire. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay, I love this new DK design, so I'm very excited to see all that. What is up with Pauline though? Is she like? No idea. Is she Navi? Is she like always there?
I have not gotten Pauline yet. I have Odd Rock.
Okay. What the fuck?
Yeah, do you know Odd Rock?
I don't think so.
Have you seen any of the directs for
Bananza? No.
For Bananza?
I've been purposely avoiding them just so I just go in pretty blind, yeah.
You don't remember the first... I've watched the reveal for Donkey Kong Bananza several times because I was so enamored with it.
Yeah.
And you don't remember those like cutscenes with the purple rock that was like running around on DK and landing on his back and shit?
Yeah, vaguely, kinda.
That's Odd Rock. Yeah, I have Odd Rock right now. I don't know when Pauline's gonna show up.
Okay, I don't know. Just from all the promotional stuff and like the amiibo, it seems like she's gonna be a big deal. So I don't know.
Yeah, she is gonna be a big deal. I mean, I think she's on the cover. You know who's not on the cover?
Odd Rock.
Odd Rock. So I mean, pretty sure Pauline is Odd Rock in some way.
Okay.
That's just a prediction.
All right.
I have a feeling that. But yeah, but that could be wrong. As of right now, because I didn't watch many of the directs either. But I'm pretty sure Odd Rock will be replaced at some point.
Okay. Then the other thing I don't get is how do they do the destruction? Because it looks like Deep Rock, and
yeah,
that to me seems like you could easily even accidentally ruin some of the secrets or the puzzles by just digging a straight line through to where you have to go. Is that possible? How do they handle that?
No, that is not entirely possible. Yes, I'm sure you can find some shortcuts for many of the secrets and many of the objectives. However, so Deep Rock is all you're correct. The terrain destruction is actually exactly like Deep Rock Galactic. And you can just you can just see it like when you start playing the game, put it next to footage of Deep Rock. It's the exact same technology almost. Not actually though, but it might as well be. However, what Deep Rock doesn't have is that Donkey Kong Bananza is obviously not a roguelike. They are design levels, and much of the levels are actually made of indestructible terrain. So it's it's like a skeleton. Levels are like a skeleton of indestructible terrain.
Wait, who just won? Who just won?
Bastard. You did. I can't fucking believe that. Anyway, the skeleton of the levels are essentially these indestructible landscapes. And then all the meat on the skeletons are the destructible parts. So I think that it's much harder than you may expect to brick yourself out of a secret. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. No. Do I know it's possible? Absolutely. Why do I know that? Because Nintendo mentioned that in a direct and it is a feature that in the pause menu, at any time you can just pause and then hit start again and just reset the terrain.
Okay,
so
I like
and
that.
it'll just reload. It'll just bring you back to a checkpoint. You'll still have everything that you just did, but it'll reset the terrain like you just like loaded right back in fresh. So I think it's going to be much more difficult than you may anticipate to like break yourself out of something.
Okay.
And honestly, it's very well designed so far. So I think those situations are going to be much more difficult than you may imagine. I don't think this game is not as free form as you may believe. Not everything is destructible. Most of it is traditional level based with that destructible aspect to it. You know.
Okay. All right. What else was I wondering? I didn't write any of this down, so these are genuine questions. Okay.
That's the best type.
There is a lot of moon bloat in Mario Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mario Odyssey, but did we need 20 moons that are just, hit a lump in the ground and then it pops out? So how is that managed with these bananas?
I'm not far into it. I'm still in the first world after the intro. It's like the lagoon zone or some shit like that. Just off the top of my head immediately, the bananas do feel more... It feels like there is less bananas to collect. Like as you... So the bananas, they're called like the Geminium bananas, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, they're called like the Geminium bananas because they're like gemstone banana. They're basically edible, jeweled bananas. What they are. And I do feel like they're put in more thoughtful places. There's less of them, but they are put in more thoughtful places. You do have to do more thoughtful things to get to them. So there is plenty of them that are just out in the open, and you just like punch behind a wall that you might have not have like seen, like a little hidden wall, and you go, oh, there's one. But there is much less of them, I think, so far. However, let's discuss something real quick. The reason why there was so many moons in Mario Odyssey is because that was your main form of progression. Your intention was to get as many moons as... get any moons that you could. There was like, could be 100 in a kingdom. But you only needed like 30 or 40. So the game was basically just like, get how many... much you want, whichever ones you want, and then move on with your life, right? That is not the case with Donkey Kong Bananza. You do not need to collect moons bananas to move on to the next world. From what I can tell, there's actual objectives per world, like story objectives per world, like design levels. So far, what I have to do, I'm in the lagoon area, and the entire lagoon is dried up, and I need to go through the world and destroy these big plugs that are keeping the water stuck in the reservoir, right? I do not have to get any banana if I don't want to. That is because the bananas are not for progression, they are for skill points. If you want to upgrade Donkey Kong, there is a full skill tree to upgrade Donkey Kong and his skills. And if you want to do that, you have to get the Geminium bananas. That is what is going to give you your skill points. So, that is like the philosophically, like that is the Oh, I can't believe you just did that. Oh, I thought that was the finish line. Sorry. I got really excited.
Relax, brother.
So, that is why Mario Odyssey is philosophically different from Donkey Kong Bonanza in that it is not revolving around the collectibles. There are objectives. So far, they may abandon that like throughout the later levels, but so far there is objectives and you can't just ignore every single Geminium banana in front of you and just like be underpowered as hell, if you so please.
I trust Nintendo, whatever the main Nintendo studio is that makes these games. I trust them with my heart and soul. The idea of a skill tree in this kind of game kind of makes me sick to my stomach, though.
When I say skill tree, I don't really mean skill tree in that, like, unlock this, and now you can unlock this. I mean more like It's like, oh, now you can punch stronger. And also the gear and the equipment and stuff, like your tie and your shorts and shit, also do have very minor stats as well.
Oh, like God of War style? Oh, no.
Yeah, God of War style, yeah.
Because I was actually going to ask about the costumes, because the like purple coins and the costumes in Mario Odyssey were one of my favorite parts. Oh, with the stats, though, that makes me really scared.
I think it's just for personal choice. I think it's just going to end up being for personal preference on how you want to play the game. I believe that in the end, it's not going to be... I don't think there's going to be a lot of actual hard mechanics tied down to these pieces of equipment, to be totally honest with you. I think they're just going to be minor distractions and just kind of help you play the game the way you want to play it. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah. Because it seems like the game is very well designed. So it's not going to be like, you don't have Power Punch level 3. You can't play this level, dude. I believe you can probably do everything the exact same way, no matter what skills you have or don't have. It just depends on how you may go about doing it. You know what I mean?
Okay. I still don't know how I feel about it. We'll see when the jury comes in, but the collectibles.
Yes.
What's up with collectibles? Because not that I disliked the amount of moons there were. There were a lot of them. I liked 100%ing it. But my thing with DK is that the collectibles in Donkey Kong are always just fucking incredible. I mean, you got bananas, you got big bananas, you got coins, you got balloons. You got Kong letters, and they all do different things, and they all work together. What are we dealing with here? Just bananas?
So far, we have the Geminium bananas. Those are probably going to be more typical to your moons. And every 5 you collect will give you a skill point. And those can be used for your skill tree. There is the fossils, and these also, this is what I've seen so far. Again, I'm in the first world. I'm sure different worlds are going to have different collectibles, not maybe fully collectibles, but I'm sure maybe 1 or 2 different things. Probably the actual context of these collectibles will be different. Like right now I have fossils. It may be different later. Maybe it'll be a different fossil. Don't know yet. There is fossils. Those are going to be more akin to your blue coins. Purple coins, but meanwhile, Mario Odyssey had 120 purple coins a kingdom, and they were all just scattered about, and they were kind of difficult to find. The fossils seem to be, there's much less of them in the first world. There's only about 60 of them, and you can find them very easily scattered about. Those fossils can be used as currency for your costumes. So that is a collectible. There's another collectible, which are the bigger fossils. I'm not sure what those do yet. I think those just might be cool extra secrets you can find. There is the banana chip tokens. I have no idea what those do yet. And then there's gold. I have no idea what that does yet. I'm not kidding. Genuinely have zero clue on the function of the chips and the gold so far. I have not been able to do anything with them yet. I believe they're going to be just a different form of currency, perhaps. And perhaps I will be able to buy different things with them. Time will tell.
Okay.
However,
maybe the chips, you can turn them into a banana. You could buy moons in Mario Odyssey. Maybe that's the deal.
But something that should be noted is that the gold and the chips are not true collectibles. Collectibles, I believe, implies that they are finite and are in predestined places on the map. That is not the case for the gold and the chips. Those are just your rupees in Mario, your rupees in Zelda and your coins in Mario. You're just gonna get them, and they're gonna be everywhere, and you can just grind them out if you so please. The fossils and the Geminium bananas are the ones that are gonna be are the collectathon items, the true collectathon item.
Okay, all right. I hope there's Kong letters, at least a reference to them somewhere.
Doesn't seem to be Kong letters, at least so far. There is the red balloons for your They're not extra lives, but if you fall off a bottomless pit, you use a balloon to bring you back out of the pit for free, without taking any damage. And then there's also cartons of apple juice. You have health in this.
Very associated with monkeys and Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm. You have health in this game. You regain your health through apples, and cartons of apple juice let you refill your health fully.
Very cool, Nintendo. Very cool.
And it's a lot of fun so far. I really like running around and destroying the environments. What is really, really cool that I did not think that they made it as big as a focus as... they didn't make it as big as a focus as it is in the game. But a really big aspect of the gameplay is actually picking up, like ripping out chunks of the terrain and throwing it. There's a lot of challenges and a lot of gameplay mechanics that are all about like picking up certain things and throwing them at certain places at certain things. So it's not just like, you're digging constantly. There is a decent amount of like aiming and like tossing. That's a big focus of the gameplay right now too.
God, we got some gyro aim on there?
We do have gyro aim, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. Terrain has different like levels of toughness. So, grass is really easy to punch through, but stone is a bit harder to punch through. So you may be like, well, I have to get through a really thick layer of extra hard stone. Let me find that explosive material to throw at it, to just put a big hole into it instead of just trying to brute force it, because it'll take shorter,
That's cool. Does it have any like Breath of the Wild type elements? Like, are we mixing terrain, or is there like fire ones or anything like that?
There's like yes, I believe that is an aspect. Much of the terrain is very different. There's like thorny terrain. Thorny terrain you cannot stand on. You cannot touch it. You cannot grab it, or else you take damage. You can destroy it, but you can only destroy it by picking up other terrain like a stone or grass and then using that as a melee weapon to punch through instead. There is, I don't remember what it was called. I think it was bomb rocks. That's probably not the name of it, but it's basically this crackling neon, like this like black rock that glows like neon purple, kind of similar to like fucking like obsidian in Minecraft almost, or like crying obsidian in like the new generation Minecraft. Right, that's what it's called, weeping obsidian, crying obsidian. It kind of looks like that, and you can rip that out of the ground and you can throw it, and that'll basically give you like the big effect of like a giant explosion. And that seems to be a big crux of the gameplay, is taking that kind of material out of the ground and throwing it against indestructible terrain that you cannot destroy with your fists.
Okay. All right. And I'm sure every world will probably have, unique little gimmicks with the terrain and stuff, which I'm looking forward to finding out.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a meter on every world that I've been to so far. I've only been to 2 worlds, the intro world and the second world. And there's a meter every time you go into the world that tells you the layer toughness. There's 5 stars in the meter, and the first world that I'm in, not the intro world, is at like 2 toughness. So I'm like, ooh, okay. So we haven't even scratched the surface of the material and terrain we're going to be seeing, I suppose.
Okay, cool.
IGN gave this fucking thing a 10 out of 10, so I'm like, I imagine this is going to get crazy. So far, it's really, really good, but I've not been like, oh my god. But I can see it.
I read IGN's review, and it's got me even more excited than I already was, because the reviewer is like a Mario Odyssey freak, and he said that DK Bonanza is so far surpassing Odyssey for him, so I hope it does the same for me.
That's nutty.
I haven't listened to the soundtrack at all, so that's my last question. How are we doing with the jams?
Oh, it's really good. I really like it. The first world doesn't really have like a lot of music, but it is very moody. It's pretty atmospheric, that first world that I was in. And then the second world is where the game starts to get like really colorful and like really like cheery and lively. And that music is pretty catchy. Is it a bit repetitive? Is the track a bit short? Yes. However, it is really good, and I imagine with Pauline's addition, singing is going to be a very important aspect of the game. Music is a very important aspect of the game. They've clearly shown that just from the trailers and Pauline's inclusion of how she sings and shit. I mean, one of the first things you do is whistle a tune to Odd Rock, and Odd Rock does a little like dance where he goes like so singing is clear, like music is clearly important to the game. I imagine it's going to get much better as it goes on, and I believe there may be like over 100 tracks of music. There is like a music player. Yeah, there is a music player, and I believe when I saw it, it said like I had like 2 out of like 114 or something like that. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if that's what the case is, but I believe that's what it is. So
cool. I'm really looking forward to it. And
yeah, too bad your copy of Bonanza got like sent to hell.
Yeah, it got eviscerated and got sent to the Phantom Zone. I thought that so they went up on sale on Amazon the other day, which also thank God Nintendo games are on Amazon again.
Were they not for a while?
No, for like years. Amazon wouldn't sell first-party. They wouldn't sell Switches. They didn't sell anything with Nintendo branding on it. That's probably not true. But like first-party Nintendo and Amazon were beefing for a long time, and then just before the Switch 2 came out, they like made up. And I saw it go up on Amazon. It was actually on sale for $10 off, and I was like, should I buy this and then refund my order? I have no idea.
Maybe.
But Amazon they sold out instantly.
Amazon always low-key fucking shady, because like brand new game that came out 2 minutes ago is on sale for like $15 off. There's something happened. That is like all those copies of the game must have like fallen off a truck and are stolen.
Yeah. Well, I told you about how they do it in the UK, where like retailers will have like bidding wars to see who can get the lowest price. So maybe that's coming here. We were talking about the soundtrack for DK, and it reminded me of something I wanted to talk about with Mario Kart, and that's the soundtrack.
Yes, you mentioned this.
I firmly believe that Mario Kart World has the best video game soundtrack of all time, and it's not even close. And I don't see enough people talking about it. It's incredible how much and how high quality the songs are in Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, this is like a big celebration of Mario Kart, honestly. So they really brought out like all the big guns, and Mario always has been like, you know, we have to go crazy on the music. Mario Odyssey music was nuts. So I'm not surprised that they went all out, because like, you know, this is a big celebration of the Mario franchise right here.
Right. I mean, it does. It feels like how they treated Smash Ultimate's music, but just for Mario and a bit of WarioWare. Mm-hmm. Like, there's new arrangements for basically any Mario song you could think of, and all the new music is just as good as Mario Kart music has always been. Mm-hmm. The fact that there's remixes of Odyssey music in here, and they're just as good as the originals, is so crazy to me, because that game feels like it just came out. Why do I have nostalgia for it?
What songs did it remix?
They remixed Gusty Garden Galaxy and Tostarena Ruins, and I think like 1 or 2 other ones as well.
Gusty Garden, I think, is Galaxy.
Oh, right, not Gusty Garden. They do have a remix of that in here.
That's cool.
What is the Steam Kingdom in Odyssey?
Steam Kingdom? What are you talking about?
It's like the one with the robots and like moss is growing everywhere. Steam.
Oh, the fucking forest place.
Yeah. What is it? Whatever that one is, that is the banger track. That one has a remix in here. There's remixes of like every Mario Kart song ever, including Coconut Mall. For the Coconut Mall fans out there.
Coconut Mall.
Ton of N64 new arrangements, which I wasn't expecting at all. There's a lot of love for even like Yoshi's Story, and it's just a love letter to all Mario games, and it's all fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, they probably put as much. I bet most of the money went to the fucking band and the Rangers.
Yeah, probably.
Compose this shit.
They even got
the game cost $80.
Yeah, it is. They even got the Xenoblade team to do a song. I forget exactly which one it is, but you can tell It's like this heavy rock remix of like fucking Wario Stadium or something.
Shulkin Mario Kart. Imagine.
Yeah, dude.
Screaming like, "Don't kill my friends!" While he's throwing a...
You hit him off the edge, he goes, ah!
Yeah.
I am in love with this music, and so far I'm in love with the Switch too. So I'm good to wrap up here. I don't know if you had any other things you needed to get off your chest.
Yeah. I want to talk about one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
At the end of the day, when you look at that price tag, is it worth it? Is it overpriced?
Yes.
All right.
The end.
Okay.
Okay, overpriced. It's an interesting question. I do think it is, but at the same time, kind of yet to be seen what they're going to do with the hardware to make it worth that price.
I was a little upset initially when I got my Switch 2, because I was like, when I ordered my Switch 2, I was like, fuck. I just paid upwards of like $600 for something I didn't really want that bad, for something that has no games, and for something that's so expensive. And after getting it and seeing the technology in it, and actually playing Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour could have been the biggest PR machine for the Switch 2.
Yeah, it sold you. It made you a consumer.
It did. And I really like looked at the Switch 2, and I actually really saw the real like care and the technology that was put into it. And honestly, I was looking at it and I was like, damn, I'm surprised this shit wasn't more. Is it overpriced? I don't know. Is it expensive? Yes. I cannot say with full confidence whether or not it's overpriced. I can, however, with full confidence say it was expensive.
I can
say with full
agree
confidence, yes, and I can say with full confidence that the Switch 1 was not expensive.
Right. So because it's Nintendo and it's the only place to play Nintendo games, you're kind of paying both for the console itself and also for like ticket of admission to be able to play their games, which is very, very anti-consumer, but it's the way things are. And for $300, the Switch got you access to one of the greatest libraries of games ever put on a console, because it had so many of the Wii U games, had so many remasters, and had so many killer Switch games. If the Switch 2 is going to deliver that level of quality again, we'll see if it's overpriced. I think they can kind of get away with it. If they aren't delivering as many or as high quality of games, we might have to have a conversation about it in a couple years here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You want to play Nintendo, you pay the premium, but you will, it's a very high chance, you can bet your money on it, you were going to get probably some of the best experiences in gaming. That's just how it is. And you know what? I've accepted it. And also, I just want to make another separate point of people who are very upset that the Switch 2 is extremely expensive and overpriced. Not to say, again, I'm not really disagreeing with you and like defending the billion-dollar corporation. However, I am saying Nintendo Switch 2 is still less expensive than the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X when they came out in 2020. It is still $50 less expensive than those consoles. And additionally, Nintendo Switch 2 is much less expensive than the currently priced Series X and PlayStation 5, which have gone up about $100 at least.
Yeah. And
5-year-old console, $100 price increase? What the fuck are you talking about?
Thank you, Donald. I love.
Was that it? That couldn't have been it.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I think the games industry kind of collectively agreed that they were going to start conning people out of money, and also their hardware got more expensive because of the tariffs. So a little bit of both.
I believe that, but 10% of $500 is not $100.
It's true.
I'm just saying. True. It's fucking absurd. It is fucking absurd. 5-year-old console raised in price. What?
Yeah, it's kind of baffling. It makes me fearful for the future of AAA. It really does.
Fuck these people.
And by the same note, I kind of, one of the reasons that I decided to pull the trigger, maybe this was just justification, but to buy a Switch 2 at launch was I was convinced it was going to go up in price soon.
And it probably will.
Yeah.
It probably will. That's a factor for a lot of people. And, you know, I mean, this is the end of the episode, but you know what you should watch? I'm plugging a YouTuber that I admire deeply. I wish I could make videos like him. I wish I could be as detailed and witty and easy to listen to as this guy. Look up Nerrel on YouTube. Nerrel. His videos are fantastic. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I wish I could review things the way he does. I wish I could be this man. His episode on the Switch 2. Don't watch this. Watch his episode of the Switch 2.
It's
much better.
Predator.
Don't even go there. I would be really upset if that was true. He's too cool. He's too cool.
So, shall we end this episode with some audience questions real quick?
Yeah, all right.
Got a few.
Can I be honest with you as well?
Yeah.
I have a low battery on my Switch.
Oh, I left the lobby.
You did? All right, I'm turning this off.
I've just been chilling since we're wrapping things up. I've just been chilling.
Okay.
Okay, so we have some very concerned viewers who are very, very concerned about if the Switch 2 can run Balatro. Great news for you. Can.
Great news. Whoa.
Oh, I wish I was still recording my video because guess what just finished downloading an update?
Balatro?
Monster Hunter Stories 2. We have to save Coco.
We have to save Coco. What update was for Monster Hunter Stories 2?
I just was installing it for the first time.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to save Coco. Did you get the Monster Hunter Stories 1 too or no?
Yeah, I got the collection with 1 on a cartridge and 2 as download code. Bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's nuts. Game key cards, is that still going on? My Donkey Kong cartridge wasn't a game key card.
As far as I know, all first-party Nintendo games are going to be real physical games. It's the third parties that have the option to do the key card.
Oh, well then I don't really give a shit, I guess.
Yeah. Like Bravely Default key card, but we'll see. It's shitty. Next question. We got someone asking, I'm thinking of getting it. Is it worth the price? I think we pretty much already covered that. So again, kind of up to how much you value your ability to play new Nintendo games.
Yeah, are you like when you saw like Donkey Kong Bananza, when you see footage of it on social media, are you like, is a sweat going down your brow going like, oh, I wish I could play this? If you're not feeling like that, wait.
Yeah,
probably.
I was really feeling that for Donkey Kong and Mario Kart, but I can totally see plenty of people who are not into either of those genres. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of people who can wait. If you're into Nintendo for maybe some of their RPG outings, like their Mario and Luigi, their Xenoblade, their Fire Emblem, those will come. If you're more of a Smash Brothers person, I'm sure we're gonna get some kind of update at some point. There's gonna be things for you, but yeah, for now you gotta be a child at heart to buy Switch 2 right now.
Yeah, and also have the money for it.
Well, child at heart, adult wallet.
Yeah.
We got someone asking, can you run Switch 1 games on it? Do the games run better on Switch 2? Yes and no.
Supposedly.
So, yes, you can run Switch 1 games. I think there's a handful of games that don't run, and when I say handful, I mean like a handful. Yeah. And the biggest hitter of those is WarioWare Move It, which I do think actually got an update to work, just without some of the minigames.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
But does it run games better? Yes. But the problem is that a lot of Switch 1 games, and I've been hopping into some here and there to like see, they were made for the Switch 1 with 30 FPS in mind. And
yeah,
so
they were like hard coded to run kind of poorly. Right. Because of the hardware. So it doesn't like magically get on new hardware and it's like, oh, all right, I'll just run better. Like it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
So games that were targeting above their weight class, so to say, like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Fire Emblem. I'm trying to think of some of the other games that got some pretty substantial glow ups. The Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom Zelda games. Those games that were like notorious for having performance issues, I've seen that are basically running flawlessly now, but they're still locked to 30 for the most part. So maybe we'll get some updates. I know some games got frame rate updates, like ARMS.
Oh, excellent.
And then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom got a pretty substantial upgrade you have to pay for, $10, but it really is a big overhaul. It adds HDR, unlocks the frame rate. It's very much worth the money, in my opinion. But I hope that we see a lot of older Switch 1 games get those updates to unlock the frame rate, if it's possible. Because the frame rate is really the big thing. I mean, the games looked fine on the Switch as is. No one was ever really hating on the Switch 1 for the way the games looked. It was the way they performed. So let's see. What other questions do we got? We got, what's the difference between it and the old one? Well, we pretty much talked about all that, but one thing that we didn't touch on that I do think is worth noting is the UI exactly the same.
Yes.
Exactly the same.
But the
Nothing.
icons are a bit rounder and have a little rainbow iridescent type border.
The other difference here that we didn't talk about, Switch Online has Switch 2 exclusive features that are also bullshit that could have been on Switch 1, like getting rid of borders, like I think the remapping buttons is actually on Switch 1, but filters, just bullshit things that no one really cares about, are exclusive to Switch 2 for some reason. Is the GameCube Switch Online Switch 2 exclusive? I don't know, because I don't have that version of Switch Online. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, it's very expensive, and I don't want to pay for that.
I'm not doing all that. And then
I
the
own
other
all those games.
The other small difference between Switch 1 and Switch 2 is the eShop functions.
That's a big ups.
Yeah, it really. I mean, not that I go on the eShop all that often, but it is not miserable anymore. Neither is the Switch Online app. They work fine now. And
I like how you can see like preview videos just by hovering over their icons in the eShop now. I think that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mouse controls on the menus, I like them. I like it a lot.
I like the mouse controls, yeah.
And the grouping, which I never really messed around with much on Switch 1, has some new features, which I think also got pushed to Switch 1 at the same time, but you can now like sort by publisher and add things to your groups based on if they're sorted or not sorted, and then you can rearrange the games within each group. So it's still not folders on the main page, but at least it's there for you.
I love that.
And then, of course, the C button. It's worth $450 just for the C button. Activate game chat whenever you want, which you're going to have to pay for.
Activate game chat whenever you want, buddy.
The I have to pay money to use this button.
That's that's a Amiibo NFC reader. Can't use it unless you got an Amiibo, buddy.
You're right. All right, I think that's about all the questions we got in. So, I'm good. Jonathan, are you good?
I'm great. I want to play Donkey Kong now.
Oh, I want to play Donkey Kong 2. Can I come there and play with you?
When is it coming?
I'm not getting mine until the 27th.
Is that true?
Yeah. I might just go to Target like right now and buy one and then return my copy when it comes in.
You probably should. Because that's bullshit.
But that's the thing, is like I'm playing other games. I don't need to play it right now. The only reason I'm upset about it is that I'm going on a trip on Tuesday. So I'm going to be in a car for a really long time, and it would be really nice to have Donkey Kong for that.
I'm just saying, you didn't pay $70 to get Donkey Kong in 2 weeks. You paid $70 to play Donkey Kong 2 days ago.
Donkey Kong's going to be $70 for the next foreseeable decades, so.
That's also true.
So yeah, that was a great episode. We're going to talk about the Switch 2 a lot more, I'm sure. I'm going to be keeping up with first-party games. When Switch 1 came out, I was in high school, so I missed a lot of the early Switch 1 games, and I just never went back to them. I'm planning on trying my best to keep up with them now and play them as they come out, because, like I said, they're never going to go on sale, so I might as well play them when they're hot. So hopefully we'll be reviewing a lot more of those. Next episode of the podcast, I imagine we'll just be reviewing some games. Jonathan, you got any games in mind that you're going to review, or are you still feeling it out? Just Donkey Kong?
In the next episode of the podcast?
Yeah.
No, probably not. I probably will not speak about Donkey Kong in our next episode. I will probably, let me see. Well, let me check my GG app. What I just 100%ed Indiana Jones.
100%. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to talk about that. I want to hear about it.
That was pretty fun. I played Slay the Spire. I've been playing it for a little, like, on and off for about a month. That was really fun. I beat Punch Out on the NES, and I tried a game called Cast and Chill. So those 4 games may or may not be reviewed next time on the podcast.
Okay. I'm definitely going to be reviewing Metroid Prime 3 on the next episode, because I finally finished that. But I'm hopeful that I'm going to get to some other games here and give a proper review, because I'm not finishing Bravely Default in 3 weeks. So it's got to be something else.
With that attitude.
I finally have some summer free time to just game. So if you got any suggestions of what game I should play, there's a pretty decent chance I own it, because I have a shopping addiction. So just let me know what I should play, and I might play it.
Hell yeah.
All right, Jonathan. Thank you for talking about the Switch 2 with me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I guess until August, we will see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.